Hi guys, today we're going to be doing cold brew at home. Stay tuned. Cheers. Hi guys, my name is Emilio Rodriguez, and as I told you, today we're going to be preparing cold brew at home. So for that, what are we going to need? Simple things. First, we're going to need water. Yeah. We're going to need paper filter and coffee. So first, what we're going to need to do is the following. So the recipe we're going to be doing today is gonna be 60 grams of coffee for 1 liter of water. So it will be a ratio from 1 to 17 in the brewing chart. 60 grams. Also the grind size for those, I would say it's a little bit around the 60, and I consider that's kind of like the fair strength for this kind of like cold brews. So we're gonna be grinding it right now. So once it's ready, I always try to not put too much coffee in the grinder. Even if you have a baraza, even if you have a wilfa, try not to put more than 50 grams. I mean, that's up to you, but it's something I've been looking for a while right now, that these kind of machines turns to be a little bit inconsistent when you put too much coffee. So I try to do it 30 by 30. Here I've done before 30, and here I did another 30. Well guys, now we're gonna be talking about the filters. As I said before, filters is kind of important for this step. Why? Because it's where we're gonna contain our coffee, and it's gonna be brewed within this filter. Okay? So for that, normally I use these batch brews filters, the brand, or doesn't matter the brand, to be honest, but I use these ones because they're huge, and also they are made for this. You know, they are made for doing these batch brews and holding and cold water and everything. So for me, these are pretty much the best, yeah? And we're gonna be using these ones. So normally I put a bowl, and I set the paper inside the bowl, so then I can add the 60 grams that we previously ground, and now we can see that we have the 60 grams we wanted. So now then, with this, we trying to just keep it together in the ends, as you can see there, allowing the coffee to be in the bottom, and also have certain space which allowed the coffee to brew, and it's also span. So once we have it there, we get this thread like a normal one, like, you know, like everybody have one at home or something, yeah. So I just like tie it like that. Remember, trying to do it always in the end, because we don't want the bomb get too tight with the coffee. We need to always have space, and as I said before, and when we finish this, the important is doing a lot of browns, a lot of nuts, you know, because you don't want the coffee spread all around the fluid, and that would be or leave a really bad bitterness, and the flavor won't be nice at all. So once we make sure that it's really tight, we will make sure that is like that. Well guys, now that we have our bombs ready, yeah, as we saw already, now we will need to talk what kind of container are we going to be using? This is actually really important. Why? Because as we said before, everything is about volume and space, and pretty much the coffee had to have enough space in order to be allowed to grow, you know? Because every time when we brew coffee, the coffee expands to absorb water. So if we don't allow that to happen inside the bomb, but also that happen with the containers, yeah? Many of you have seen this kind of products, yeah? Which are really good for many things, but I wouldn't use it for cold brew, for example. Well, first, I wouldn't use this because this is not fine enough to actually keep the microparticles away from the cold brew, yeah? So yeah, you could use this, yeah, because it's good, yeah, you will say that, but its shapes it's so narrow, which doesn't allow the coffee to grow, expand, you know? If we see this, you know, even if we push it, the whole idea of this is like the coffee get naturally and the most organically way brewed with cold water, okay? So for that, I will be using instead a normal bowl, yeah? Why? As I said before, this bowl have a lot of diameter, so which allow the coffee bombs to be actually, how can I say, floating and comfortable, instead of like just being stuck or being floating all over. So now we're gonna see how we're gonna do this. Well, now that we have our container, what are we gonna do? We're gonna fill it with water. So everybody has one of those. We're gonna measure it. So I'm gonna add liters. As I have 2 coffee bombs, yeah? The important thing here is being accurate, you know, and also allowed having space in the container, enough space from the rim, yeah? So we have 2 liters of water. So we already measured our water and we are pretty good to go. Well, speaking of water, I think also it's a thing, you know, it's not something important that you need to actually bear in mind, and it's the fact that the water, it's really important because that's gonna be defining a lot also in your coffee flavor, you know. So that's why I get water, low mineral water, and not too high, you know, and in chlorine and things like that. But we're gonna do another video about that. But we have our 2 liters of this water I got from a supermarket, which is not from the tap water. And now we get our bombs and we wet them. If you can see, first you wet them, both of them, you know, and soaking them little by little until they absorb their weight. So the whole point is like the bombs, as we see here, have the whole space, you know, to be able to span and brew comfortably. Well, after 5 minutes or so, as you see, our water already turned a little bit brown. So the next step is sealing, okay? We just like really tight, trying to adjust to the sides. But the important thing is like keeping away from any other environmental agents, okay? So for that, we make sure that our coffee won't get stale or get any odor or any problem with the flavor, after that. Well guys, now it will be the brewing instructions. So for how long we do this? I would say up to you. For example, this is totally depends on how kind or what kind of flavor you're looking for, what kind of strength you're looking for, and many other factors we will be talking about, like in another videos. But for this video, what I would recommend, just do it for 12 hours. And once you seal it, leave it out in the ambient temperature, room temperature, and do not put it in the fridge. I find that with room temperature, the brew get more consistent and get even better in flavor. So I will put it outside. I will do it for 12 hours, and as we see, we just did this, and look, it's already getting the color, So remember, pick a time. I will do it for 12 hours, and this baby should be ready tomorrow. But meantime, what I always do, because in case you have more stuff, or you're in a coffee shop, or you're a small coffee shop, always is good to write it down, right? So yeah, so we do the date and the time, and yes, so we know when need to be actually taken out of the fridge. So once we get those 8 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours, whatever you actually decide, the important things is like take out really gently those coffee bombs. Well guys, now we will take this baby out. We're gonna remove the plastic foil, okay? So as you see, you can see how the coffee bombs are actually floating, yeah? So this is the part when you have to be really careful, okay? So with another bowl or plate, leave it there to a little bit, so that all the water gets pretty much go through. Yes. So then we do the next one. Okay? So once you have those two, and of course there's a lot of fluid still on here, the idea is like pressing the coffee bomb really gently and hold it from the bottom, so you will be allowing to the coffee or the cold brew going out of the coffee bomb without tearing the filter, so that's a good one. Okay, so we're gonna throw that one out, and then we're gonna put this one over here, and we're gonna do the same. Remember, the important and key part here is like, just be patient. Remember, this is gold. So yeah. So once we get the rest of the cold brew, we incorporate it with the rest. Well, after our cold brew is finished and our coffee bombs are being removed, we get the cold brew. So now is the time when we actually put it on the fridge, in the fridge. So for that, I will actually use one of these. Why? Because it's easier to put on the fridge or old bottles of milk or things like that. So this is the kind of way you can actually store it and keep it cold. Normally, shelf life for this is like around 5 days. So now this baby is going into the fridge and we will try it. See you in a bit. Hi guys. Well, finally, after 12 hours of brew and the last bit, we have finally our cold brew. Okay? So, as I said before, all the intensity or how much flavor do you want on that, it depends strictly in two factors. One is the amount of coffee you use, the ratio coffee water, yeah, and the other one, it would be actually how long you brew it for. Normally I'm aiming for 12 hours because I consider that it's strong enough so you can actually add some ice and it still will keep that flavor and those notes on that cold brew. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoy and see you next time. Cheers.